another big one. You got to have discipline control because if you don't, you get ugly. I'm fond of saying gentle parenting is a way to be a nasty parent.
What do you mean?
Because you're going to get frustrated. Gentle parenting doesn't.
Resentment builds.
Gentle parenting doesn't work because it assumes something that's flawed.
How do you define, really quick, because this is a hot debate.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
How do you define gentle parenting?
Gentle parenting is reasoning, understanding, being very slow to discipline, but in fact giving choices. Now, all that's good. All that is good. The problem is it implies that if you do it that way, then your kid is going to cooperate. And when he doesn't, you get frustrated. And when you get frustrated, you get ugly. You go to confession. Bless me, Father.
I'm impatient again this week on 4 occasions. I've made that confession before.
I was pretty nice before children. Now I'm not pretty or nice.
You sound like me, Dr. Ray.
And then you say, Father, would I be wrong thinking about shooting my kid with a bazooka?
Haven't done that one.
Okay.
But
But you get frustrated. And for you, Lila, you got 3 little ones, right?
Yeah.
You need the ability. Now, I think the youngest is how old?
1.
Okay, so this really not into
18 months. She acts like she's 2.
You're inching your way toward some kind of discipline. Which parents say, what is discipline? I say, well, discipline, very simply put, is this. An expectation backed by a consequence. In other words, you're not allowed to mistreat your brother. You can't mistreat your brother. Now, sometimes a parent will say, but wait, I want to teach him to treat his brother right. Mm-hmm. I go, true, but you have to first stop mistreatment. Because we as Christians know that the bent is toward mistreatment. We have a fallen human nature. We're going to do what's in our interest, and our interest collides with his interest. So you can't mistreat your brother.
It is true the original thing. Just quick bar on this, and I'm curious your thoughts, because I see with this kind of the fallen nature, at the very young age, they're like angels, but then they can be like demons, but not because they're intending the sin. It's not like, because before the age of reason, there's no moral culpability, but it's just like, I want that toy. I want this. I want that. And, it's a human nature thing. And it's, again, not an act of sin for a child like that young because they don't have reason, right? They can't consent to the sin.
You know what I believe is the most overused and sad adjective to describe children? Strong-willed. I hate that. The implication is that because he wants to do what he wants to do, because he's self-centered, all of which our Christian teaching would say is innate to the human before we are socialized and moralized, we look at this and say, why is he so strong-willed? And I want to say, Mom, he's not going to cooperate with you. If you've got one that's more cooperative, count your blessings. Say, thank you, dear Lord. But if you get one like that first, Lila, it'll ruin the rest of your parenting because you'll think you're God's gift to parent. And then Cujo comes along, Conan over here. And all of a sudden, you've got a normal child. But you then describe that child as strong-willed, so strong-willed, mind of her own, 6 gone on 16. See, we use these kind of adjectives when in fact, I want to say, you just got a kid. And we've forgotten what kids are. And part of the reason for that is that the experts have convinced parents that your kids, if you parent properly, are going to say, oh, mother, I've been so blind. Of course. Let's hold hands, sing Kumbaya around the campfire.
Okay, but I took you on a sidebar, so thank you for the patience with me on that. But you were laying the foundations for what discipline is, and you just said, "Oh, well, they're not going to do the kumbaya." But it sounds like your wife had it locked in. Okay, they weren't kumbayaing, maybe, but they were obeying. Yes, and it sounds like there was harmony.
I had a client come to my office, and her husband said one of the more humble things I've gotten from clients. He said, I disagreed with my wife the whole time we were raising our oldest son. I thought she was too strict. I thought her standards were too high. I was much, much, much more permissive. I thought he would outgrow all of this. He's 21 now, and his life's a mess. So we have a 14-year-old, and I don't want to make the same mistakes. So we're here, Dr. Ray. Give us some guidance, and I'm going to agree with what you say and my wife. So I asked them, if you told this 14-year-old that's disrespectful, you need to please sit down and write a nice essay on why you're grateful to live here and why you should not be disrespectful. And that's a minimum 300 words handwritten. Would he do it? And the mother said, oh, of course not. Oh, no. Be an automatic fight. Be an automatic brawl, an argument. Awful. I said, well, here's what I think you need to do. At that point, until you get the essay, all perks and privileges cease. Every single thing. That means there is no outside. There's no computer. There's no friends. If you go to Pizza Hut, he doesn't eat. He eats at home because he's eating out of privilege. A favorite sweatshirt's gone. Anything technical is gone. If you have to drive him to school, well, that's a privilege, so we'll pay him some mileage. In other words, you don't understand how many things as a parent are in your leverage. And she said, you mean that's kind of like a blackout? And I said, what a great word. And I talk about that in my books, and I also talk about that from our own perspective as parents. That's the reason why the kids didn't refuse going to the corner. If they did, my wife said, okay, blackout. Mom, I'm going to go outside. No, I didn't get my corner yet. Mom, where's my stuffed animal? Oh, it's on the refrigerator. I didn't get my corner yet. How come I don't get no cake? Oh, no, you don't get any dessert at all. You didn't go to the corner yet. In other words, until you do what we asked you to do, you're going to realize all these things are gone. Not mean, not nasty, not jackbooted, kick the door down. No, it's just a very calm, I told you, you need to go to the corner or this is going to happen. And it didn't take too many of those before finally she just said, put your head down at the dining room table, please. I'll set the timer. And they did. Because a few times they said no, they saw what happened. And they didn't like that.
So she did that enough, early on, consistently enough.
Yes.
And also it sounds like calmly enough.
Oh, yeah. She wasn't yelling at anybody. She wasn't screaming. She wasn't threatening them. You little brat, get over there. No, nothing like that. I always tell parents, the madder you get, the more you lose credibility. Because the child looks at you and thinks, hey, you're a lunatic. You know, I'm living with a lunatic. Okay, I'll go to the corner. Look what I did to you. I ruined the next 2 hours for you. I can stand in a corner for 4 minutes. That's a nice trade-off. That's what happens. Sure. Now, if you have, I'm not going to ask you personally.
You can go. I could use a little evaluation. Let's do it.
Your two older ones.
Oh, they're thick as thieves, and they also can fight like cats and dogs. Two
so
boys.
you have a house rule. Boys, Rocky, Bruno.
Great names.
Right, good names. Conan, Cujo. You're not allowed to mistreat each other. There is no pushing, there's no shoving, there's no name calling, there's no jumping off the ropes, there's no soap in the eyes, nothing. If you do, guys, it's automatic. I'm not going to try to figure out who started it because I wasn't in there. You both go to the corner.
Even when the 4-year-old, he just turned 4, has it in for the 5-year-old.
Yeah, even when. Now, if you know, Lila.
No, they reciprocate. Yeah, so I'm not saying it's all the younger kids' fault, but.
And I'll digress for a second. Experts give really dumb advice on this. They say, let them solve their own conflicts. Let them work it out on their own. Let them have conflict resolution skills. Now, the problem is your older kid is going to dominate because he's bigger, smarter, faster, stronger. Even though the 4-year-old provokes, your older son is like, no, I'm not putting up with this.
Or he loses his mind because he tries conflict resolution and the 3-year-old does not care.
That's exactly what I mean. Many of these theories don't work. So you have a rule. Can't do this. So you tell both boys, you sit on the couch over there, you sit over there. And they don't. They get off the couch or they do this. Am I still on the couch? Am I on the couch now, Mom?
Or they sit there and just go.
Yes, or they scream. That's right. They will do what I call escalation. It's very common. That's why parents will say, I don't really like the discipline because it gets ugly. And so what happens is it builds in inconsistency. I'll try to get you to take your discipline, but if you don't, I'm going to try to work my way through this or negotiate or do something or ignore you or whatever because I don't want to have 6 minutes, 8 minutes, 20 minutes of a brawl here. Okay, boys, You don't have to sit on the couch. Everything's gone. And they'll have
Legos.
No, those are gone. Oh my gosh, those are gone. Favorite shirt is gone. Favorite cup is gone. Favorite hat is gone. Outside is gone. Toys are gone.
How do you pick that consistently, though? Do you have like a list premeditated of the 10 things that go when the discipline is not taken?
It's really easy. Anything that remotely is a perk or a privilege. Anything. That means if you're getting juice, his favorite orange juice for dinner, and you put milk or water in front of him, and he said, "Well, my juice." You haven't sat on the couch yet. It's kind of like Columbo. You're going, well, wait a minute. Don't you understand? You didn't sit on the couch yet.